There has been a disgusting assault on HUD Secretary Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, former neurosurgeon, who was the first to separate conjoined twins at the head. Okay? A brilliant, wonderful, decent, good man with a lovely, lovely wife, who I've had the good fortune of meeting and talking to both of them on this show and others. A wonderful man. But you see, he's black. And in the media and liberal world, which is the same, if you're a black conservative, you might as well be a old white guy. And you're not down with the cause. You know what I mean? Good. So any chance they get to slime someone like Clarence Thomas or Dr. Ben Carson, they take it. Even though it's outrageous and it's fake news. And it's fake news here, and I'll tell you why. They're criticizing, they're ripping apart Ben Carson for something that he said in his first speech as HUD Secretary 2 days ago, when in fact Barack Obama said the same exact thing, just about, in 2015. You see, he's a liberal black Democrat, so he could do or say anything, and the left and the media won't say boo. But when Carson, a conservative black man, says almost exactly the same thing, he's this, he's that, they call him names, they mock him, he's dangerous. That is fake news. Any outlet who reports and debates what Dr. Carson said without playing what you're going to see me play for you is giving you fake news by omission. Remember that. And I believe that's almost everybody, because I haven't seen many people put that up, certainly. All right, so let's start with what Dr. Ben Carson said a few days ago.
There were other immigrants who came here in the bottom of slave ships, worked even longer, even harder for less. But they too had a dream that one day their sons, daughters, grandsons, granddaughters, great-grandsons, great-granddaughters might pursue prosperity and happiness in this land.
Okay, so the left went nuts. Did he call slaves immigrants? Slaves immigrants? What a jerk. Worse than that. Much worse than that. Here's Michael Eric Dyson.
This is one of the most atrocious acts of historical revisionism that one might imagine. Again, from a man who is at the height of American political power, at the apex as the Secretary of HUD. It's astonishing.
Yeah, it's astonishing, all right. It's astonishing. Because I wonder where Michael Eric Dyson and the left and the news media, which is the same thing, where were they on December 15th, 2015, when Barack Obama spoke at a naturalization ceremony and said this?
Life in America was not always easy. It wasn't always easy for new immigrants. Certainly it wasn't easy for those of African heritage who had not come here voluntarily, and yet in their own way were immigrants themselves. There was discrimination and hardship and poverty. But like you, they no doubt found inspiration in all those who had come before them. And they were able to muster faith that here in America, they might build a better life.
The message is exactly the same. The wording, slightly different. If this media was even this much not so off the rails, if they were this much not suffering from total Trump derangement syndrome, and if we were this much had any respect for black conservatives or female conservatives or Hispanic conservatives or gay conservatives, they'd probably be out of their mind saying, he plagiarized the president. Let's put them up next to each other. He maybe the words are different, but he stole the idea. Maybe it's a true idea. And you have two prominent, successful black men from different political persuasions who said or who had the same thought on the same issue and expressed it in much the same way. But don't you see? Go Google it. Go Google. There's many more like Michael Eric Dyson. Many more. And Don Lemon was sitting there with Michael Eric Dyson. Don Lemon didn't play what I just played for you, putting it in context. No. fake news. Fake news is only, not only is the story true or fake, fake news is when you report on something and make it seem like it's outlandish or it's newsworthy or, wow, it's unprecedented. Like when Trump took to task the judges on his executive order. And they reported it. It's disgusting, it's this, it's that. With no mention of what Obama did to the Supreme Court at a State of the Union, with no mention of Bill Clinton saying that a lower court judge might want to find a new line of work when he didn't like a decision, no mention of what FDR wanted to do to the Supreme Court of the United States, no mention at all. Like when they talk about the executive order and make no mention of what FDR did, what Jimmy Carter did, what Barack Obama did. That's fake news by omission. They take something that's happened many times before in one way or another and just say it's awful, terrible, and don't tell you about the other people who have done it. Okay? Because then they'd have to say, oh, what this Democrat did was awful, and what that Democrat did was awful, and what that Democrat did was awful. In addition to what they're saying Donald Trump is doing is awful. You see how it works? And if they brought this to you, if they brought you Barack Obama saying it, then there'd be no story. What are they going to call Obama? An idiot, a racist, a this, despicable, disgraceful? He said it. He said it, and nobody batted an eye. And what we're seeing here is just symptomatic. Folks, it's symptomatic. It happens every single day. I have become, I won't say an expert, but a connoisseur and kind of an expert, I got to say. Because I've been pointing this stuff out along with some others for decades. Decades. Even, you know, as cable news was just starting out in its infancy and all that. Decades. I mean, they bring on a woman on CNN, Simone Sanders, who said we don't need white people running the Democrat Party, and she's on CNN to debate racial issues and sit in judgment of Donald Trump on racial issues. Huh? Dan Rather sits there. He had a Facebook posting yesterday trashing Donald Trump and honesty and integrity when look what he did to George W. Bush. I mean, the hypocrisy, the lunacy. Glenn Thrush, who wrote to Podesta, according to WikiLeaks, saying, is this story okay? Don't tell anybody. I'm a hack. That's when he was with Politico. Well, he got exposed, and guess what? He got hired by the New York Times. And yesterday he was called on by Sean Spicer to ask a question. By the way, so was our own John Gizzi, Newsmax White House correspondent, called on by Health and Human Services Secretary Price, and then by Sean Spicer. So he asked 2 questions yesterday. Kudos to John Gizzi. But, folks, it is so bad that you cannot have confidence in anything you're seeing or hearing in the mainstream liberal media. You just cannot. Don't be fooled. Don't. Because even if the story is accurate, as it was with Ben Carson, what he said, they showed it to you, they don't give you the context because it's been said before by their hero, Barack Obama. But when he did it, Carson does it, he's a buffoon. You see, that's what black conservatives are to these people.